Welcome back to Jump In Travels, guys. Today in Madeira, we're going to be experiencing the toboggan slide. Stick around for more. We landed in Madeira by the afternoon, which of course means lunchtime. So we found a restaurant nearby the water called Mare Alta. Luckily, it wasn't too busy, so we got quick seating and ordered oysters for appetizers. You'll notice throughout that there's a lot of seafood since fresh fish is a big thing on this island, but they have a variety of other good food that tastes just as fresh. It's also easy to walk the food off since there's always a scenic area to stroll through. Ironically, instead of walking it off, we chose to hike it off at Vereda da Ponta de São Lourenco. Yeah, try repeating that 3 times. The parking here was free, but it can get filled up pretty quickly. This is one of the most popular hikes on the island with lots of views and slightly challenging access to an isolated beach. It's also recommended to get a permit for this hike, but there's still accessible paths and stairs to appreciate the scenery. So we chose not to do the full hike here.
It's a 4-mile hike. We didn't mentally come prepared. All that stuff was in the car. Nothing crazy. But there are 2 viewpoints we had wanted to see anyways, and we did do that. That was within maybe the first half mile?
Yeah, about.
Nothing crazy. But it's pretty viewpoints. You can see the water, take pictures. It is hot, no shade.
There's literally no shade out here, so just be prepared for that.
Hat, sunglasses, the usual.
At the entrance of the hike, you'll likely find these food trucks that sell snacks and Poncha, their famous drink, to have before or after the hike. The next morning, we drove at 4 a.m. to get to our famous PR 1.2 hike, also known as Vereda do Pico Ruivo. The hike from the parking lot is dark, so you'll need some headlights. How are you guys feeling so far?
Cold.
The weather was not in our favor that day. It was 45 degrees, windy, and even some fogginess that made our clothes feel a bit moist. The hike to the top is about 2 miles, and you'll get a nice viewpoint there. Unless you're like us and get to see nothing but fog. And then it started raining on top of that. So we had to seek refuge at the little hut nearby that carried some light snacks and souvenirs. The following day looked much more promising as we made our way to the west coast of the island. We drove to the highest lighthouse in Portugal. The Farol da Ponto do Pargo sits about 300 meters high and sits close to the edge of the cliffs surrounded by coastal waters. The lighthouse itself wasn't accessible, but the entire area around it was open for the public with easy access to parking, if you could find a spot. It may be a bit far from everything else on the island, but it's stunning and worth a visit. We then drove 40 minutes to visit the natural pools of Porto Moniz. Honestly, this was my favorite one of the 3 natural pools we visited. As a heads up, this is a very touristy area, so it can get pretty crowded and parking was tricky. On the bright side, it's a pretty vast space and the entrance fee was only €5 each, though it can fluctuate up to €12 depending on the season. The water looks crystal clear, but it's very cold, so mentally prepare yourself. There's also a restaurant on the 2nd floor overseeing the pools that offers food and drinks, including a unique blue sangria if you'd like to try it out. We visited the 2nd natural pool 10 minutes away by Seixal. We got by with street parking here and then walked downhill to the entrance where they charge about €3 to €5 for admission. Seixal natural pools are very beautiful and secluded, which feels more authentic since it's not as saturated with people. There was a more peaceful and low-key vibe here with a mix of locals and foreigners, and there is a couple of small bar stands offering drinks including more sangria. This would definitely be the better spot if you prefer a smaller crowd. The 3rd and final natural pool we visited was Doca do Cavacas. This one is about 45 minutes away from Seixal and went on a different day, but it's the smallest pool out of all the three. To be honest, we didn't even pay admission to go inside and chose to see it from the restaurant upstairs instead. We were in the mood for some seafood even though it was a bit pricey, but at least we were able to visit this last pool in some way. The next morning, we visited Seixal Beach, or Praia do Porto de Seixal, since it's popular black sand beach not far from Seixal's natural pools. Parking can be limited here as it's street parking, but we were lucky to get there early while it was quiet with few people wandering the beach. Its volcanic landscape, lush green cliffs, and clear turquoise waters make it visually pleasing, whether it's just for pictures or while laying out for some sun. After the beach, we drove 40 minutes south to the other side of the island to see the famous Cascata dos Anjos, or Waterfall of the Angels. It's known for water flowing straight onto the road, which is often closed to the public as a result of the traffic. However, it's still accessible and you can park less than 10 minutes away to see it.
So as you can see behind me, this is one of Madeira's famous waterfalls. A lot of people actually say it's wastewater. I wouldn't know how to tell you that, but I saw a lot of people actually going inside of it and having some fun. So let me know if you actually do that once you come here.
You'll see several people line up for pictures, but it moves rather quickly if you're up for that.
So guys, we're here in Madeira and this is one of the pastries you have to get here. This is pastel de nata. It's very creamy and thick and it's a custard cream. So I suggest everybody come here and get it. Delicious.
The next adventure was paragliding, and these two were trying it for the first time.
So this is your first time paragliding. How do you feel?
I'm really excited.
They booked it with Fly on Madeira for about 130 euros each. They got picked up from a meeting point by the beach where the guides typically land.
Oh shit.
Go, 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 don't say things. Go, 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 go into the ocean. Don't say, don't say, don't say.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Another.
The takeoff is about 600 meters high, or about 1900 feet high, and the views were amazing. They were able to see a large portion of the island and even got footage of themselves while flying.
Thank you.
How was it?
It was awesome.
The girls had said it was one of the most unique ways to see Madeira. The following day was our most anticipated activity, the toboggan slide. In order to get there, you'll need to take a Funchal Monte cable car located by the beach close to the port. It's about 14 euros per person for a one-way ticket, since you'll be coming down via the slide. You could see the line was crazy long, and this was closer to the late morning when we expected it to be less hectic. At the top by Monte Village, you'll need to walk about 10 minutes to get to the area, and you'll know where the right place is when you see all the baskets. There's another ticket booth, and unfortunately, another line to queue. It costs us 35 euros to ride as a double, but there's also solo or triple riders too. This line took us about another 30 to 45 minutes also, but it was worth the wait. We were able to experience these historic toboggans that were initially created in the 1850s as a means of transportation, but now it's become a fun ride. Later that day, we chose to do a sunset catamaran tour with VIP dolphins. This is a 3-hour tour, sets out to look for dolphins and whales while including snacks and drinks for about 80 euros per person. The catamaran was spacious and has 2 main levels with several seating. As we got comfortable and ventured out, we were greeted with the food and drinks until we were far out enough to find marine life. Though sightings aren't always guaranteed, we were lucky enough to spot about 15 dolphins, including a baby dolphin, swimming around the boat and leading our way to the front. We didn't get to see any whales, but that's okay. The whole experience and friendly staff were great, and I'd highly recommend this tour, especially at sunset to end the perfect day. The next morning was our final day in Madeira, and that meant we had to do something adventurous. So we chose to do canyoning with Epic Madeira, which is a combination of a waterfall rappelling and hiking across boulders. For about 80 euros a person, we were equipped with gear from head to toe upon reaching the meetup point and guided on our half-day tour throughout a secluded parts of the forest. We made our way down with 2 guides, got pictures along the route, and even ended up jumping into the cold water. This was an amazing experience to get out of our comfort zone and become one with nature. So try this out. If you've been thinking about visiting Portugal but wanted a more tropical vibe, Madeira is the place to go. Not only do you get to try their delicious food and appreciate their culture, but you can also see their hidden gems, do a variety of activities, or just pet a dog by the beach. Comment below to let me know what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. As always, follow my next adventure on Jumpin' Travels.